Oh, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Instagram Live on Wednesday, the 21st of February. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Fabulous. Hello and welcome, Tove. You and I are one. I hope. Are you on Wi-Fi, Tove? Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yes. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is it all good?
Are we on Wi-Fi?
Yes, we should be.
We're on a little bit of a fuzzy picture, unfortunately. Hopefully. Or we have to laugh about this. We have to laugh about the Wi-Fi. Whilst we wait for Tove may need to go out and back in again, Tove. So yeah, we're going to be talking about laughter is the best medicine. I love that phrase. I think it's a fabulous phrase, and you know, it actually is, in our humble opinion, the best medicine for mind and body. So yeah, we're trying to wait for Tove to come on. Little technical difficulties. So welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sara Kay. I'm the name behind Serious Laughter, and Tove Kane is Tove Kane. Tove is a master trainer, so that means that she can train people how to be teachers, and I am a teacher. Let's see if she comes on. There we go. That's better. I see you now. We have got the Wi-Fi laughter.
Much better.
Yeah, you were a little bit blurry, and I was like,
Do we not feel like that in life sometimes, where our world seems blurry, and it seems that to the world we are blurry, but they have no idea it's much blurrier on the inside.
It's brain foggy on the inside. Brain
Right.
foggy.
I know that I just heard you saying how you just love that phrase, laughter is the best medicine. Do you know where it comes from originally?
I don't know.
Well,
No.
when we set up that we were going to be doing laughter is the best medicine, I was so curious back then that I thought, you know what, let me discover it, because I know we constantly refer to it and we know it's a hashtag. It's actually from King Solomon, and it is available for you in Proverbs 17. Can I read you this tiny short line to show you what its heritage is? So, I mean, this is an ancient saying. The actual saying is from Proverbs 17, verse 22, from King Solomon. A merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. Isn't that interesting? So,
Well,
laughter is the best medicine.
laughter is the best medicine. Every day's a school day, right? Every day's a school day.
Yeah,
King
love it.
Solomon. I guess that's where the trainers came from.
Yeah,
Walking boots, whatever
I
they
love
are.
those.
So I know I was telling the story I think it was last week, but maybe people didn't hear it, of when I went to leader training. I was repeating some leader training as a refresher, and I had this cold. Do you recall that
Yeah,
story?
yeah.
So I had this cold, and I said to the teacher, I've got a bit of a cold, you know. She said, stay your distance, don't cough on anybody. And it wasn't that cough, it was like a real bunged up feeling before the cold arrived. And I struggle through a little bit, tiny bit of a tickle, but nothing, no cough, and kept hydrating, which is very, very important when you have colds or flu or anything. And by the end of the first day of the training, after we'd done lots and lots and lots of laughter, I was feeling a little bit better. But the end of the second day of training, I was like, I'm sure I had a cold coming, but it's gone. And it never ever appeared. It just went. And I
Wow.
was like, that is miraculous.
It
Like
is.
how we have created our own natural killer cells and T cells, etc., through laughter to help prevent viruses. That was just proof to me that it does really, really work. So yeah, so there we are. I'm still astonished to this day that
It's such such an embodied, direct experience that you had of it. And I can remember during the lockdown, we were doing laughter yoga online every day. I didn't get COVID once, and I didn't even get flu during that time. Just because of the laughter. So it not only helps us mentally and emotionally, it definitely has a physiological impact on us in that it is boosting our immunity. So what an incredible thing that boosts confidence, resilience, immunity. And that's why we're here to share more about it, because we've had that real experience of it. It's not just science that we're quoting from papers. We've lived it in our lives, Sarah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And stress, the amount of stress that people are under, that lowers your immune system. So if we do laughter, we release that cortisol, lower that cortisol, that stress, and we boost our immune system. So you're so less likely. I thought I was coming down with a cold. I just felt a bit sniffly just before leader training, just
Yeah.
like 4 days before, and I was like, oh, I just felt it. I just carried on as my routine, after in the shower, my yoga nidra, everything, every self-care, lowering my stress level. And sure enough, it went, because you're practicing your self-care. So even though I don't get tons of fresh air, I am getting the benefits and the extra oxygen as well, of course. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What I also wanted to share, and I don't know whether you experienced this as well, Tove, is when I laugh in the morning, in particular in the morning, that's when you would normally, cough or sneeze or whatever. So I don't cough until I laugh, and then that releases all the gunk inside my lung. I call it gunk inside my lungs.
Yeah.
And I noticed this morning at the 8 a.m. Session that we run, it's just like a quick boost, a 10-minute boost. And Maggie was coughing. Now Maggie has had I think it was bronchitis the other week. So yeah, and it was and I thought, oh good, because we're all going to cough together. But otherwise, I wouldn't cough normally in the morning until I've done the laughter, and then it's cleansing out the stale residue
Yeah.
from the previous day. So I know that it's a really good lung cleanse, and it increases your lung capacity as well, doesn't it, Tove?
That's the thing that is absolutely remarkable for people to realize that when we are not getting enough oxygen in our system, it means that we also have too much carbon dioxide in our system. And the effect of the buildup of carbon dioxide is that ultimately it leads to inflammation. So for many people, me included, who have chronic illnesses related to inflammation, it is a large part to do with breath work. And laughter yoga is a very effective breathwork tool because it is about breathing in and then laughing it out. So the longer the laughter means that we get to clear those lungs. We have an upper, a middle, and a lower lung. And in this respect, we don't tend to, in our everyday lives, get to purge the middle and lower parts of the lungs. But through laughter exercises, we can clear that capacity and then bring in more oxygen, and the oxygenated blood helps us to focus, to concentrate, to feel more motivated and connected to the day, to the moment. But it's also very good for our heart. So we know from all of the research about cardiovascular diseases that when there is not a free-flowing blood system, we can get blocks and embolisms and all sorts of problems. Anybody who's ever known somebody who's had a stroke or heart attack recognizes this is a precious soul who's having a compromised life if they get to live, or it takes their lives. So there's a preventative element to this laughter yoga, as well as handling things in the moment. So we want to get more blood flowing through our vessels, and that increased flow and the joy of it works in a combination. It's a holistic mind, body, soul experience. And like you were saying, you feel better, don't you? You just feel so light after laughter.
Yeah, that's the word that so many people come to me and say. Yeah, I say, how do you feel? Oh, I feel light. I feel like that weight on your shoulders has just gone. Because the relaxation element is profound, isn't it? Because you just feel free and floppy, and everything just relaxes because that's the parasympathetic nerve system being activated. Right?
Of that you're describing there about that relaxation, tension looks like this, doesn't it? It's like tense, the muscles are contracted. Many people get these very tense necks and shoulders. The most common ailment, of course, is backache, and all of these things come from very tense muscles. And you can't be tense when you're laughing. It relaxes the muscles, right? So it is such a wonderful thing to see. Not only are we relaxing muscular tension, but we are also relaxing mental and emotional tension too.
Yeah, that's it. So I was going to talk about like all the benefits, like stabilizing blood sugar levels, which you wouldn't even think of, would you? And working our hearts, that an accessible exercise that anybody can do inside, except for contraindications, of course. Anybody can do inside on a chair, even in bed, because you could do laughter meditation or laughing in bed. And yes, boosting your immune system, lowering our stress, so that then helps our immune system as well, of course.
It does a
Now,
beautiful hormone rebalance because we have the stress hormones of adrenaline and cortisol running through the body when we do laughter. And thank you everybody for joining us live. It's very good to see you all there, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining Sarah and me. We really appreciate it. But we get to balance the hormones by bringing in different hormones. Like the body actually goes ahead and produces the endorphins, which are also painkillers. We get more serotonin, we get more dopamine, we get more oxytocin. So these are really remarkable things that laughter can bring you a hormone rebalance as well, Sarah.
Yes, of course, of course. I was also thinking free Botox. Free Botox. We were having a little, little laugh about this at the end of leader training, actually, because I said, "Oh, you all look amazing," and you look about 18 now, Becky. Just really, really.
Um, but they got into it. You know, this is the thing. And what we saw in the leader training, and for those of you who don't know what leader training is, Sarah is a laughter yoga teacher, and she did some training. She invited me, and what we do is we teach leaders to go into their whichever chosen field, whether they want to go and specialize with children or the elderly in care homes or schools or communities or families or even corporates. So we do laughter yoga in corporates, and that's what we were doing on the weekend, training leaders to go and facilitate laughter yoga. That's what we were talking about. But Becky herself, though she's a coach, noticed that she was pushing right up against her comfort zone. And we know that nothing grows in a comfort zone. Everything good happens just the other side of it. And I adored your exercise, the laughter ring of the comfort zone. So we can do it visually here. We just go, this is the comfort zone, and we laugh. Tense. And we just take a little step outside of the comfort zone, and it's like,
And a little bit bigger step. Step back, and then a massive step, a very big step. Looking around in amazement. So that's where the new development is, the new personal development.
You know what? Today I've been at quite a big conference, and I just happened to squeeze some laughter yoga in, which was just such an excitement. But I overheard somebody as I was going past, and they were going in the lift, and it just so happened, and I heard somebody say, "I actually felt safe when she guided that." And this is something that we just want to bring to you, is that there is a triggering element to laughter per se, where we can feel excluded or laughed at or uncomfortable. And what Sarah and I really have a heart for, and we do it so sincerely and authentically, is we want to help people feel safe enough to meet their own laughter unconditionally, without a joke, without humor even, so that you can develop your emotional intelligence and your resistance to yourself even. And that's one of the key benefits of the medicine of laughter, because, you know, I'm always a fan of prevention's better than cure. So if we can be doing more laughter, it builds up our more positive attitude, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In difficult times.
Yeah. So if you laugh in the morning, you are more able to cope with the challenges of that day, rather than doing it after the challenges and feeling, oh, I don't really feel like laughing, I feel like crying, but, do I laugh? Do I cry? How am I going to boost myself up?
Yeah.
Now, I did a private session the other day with three sisters. Now, this was really interesting because she kept asking me afterwards, so how can I boost myself up? And I'm like, I've just shown you how to do it. I showed her the clean pen, where you bite into the pen, you feel your cheeks hurting, and then if you can, release just a gentle giggle, to start the ball rolling, start your muscle memory reacting to it. So yeah, it was lovely to see people connecting in that way, because we talked about connection last week, didn't we? And it was really nice to see them connecting in that special way between themselves, when they have struggled with depression and mental health, and they're annoyed with friends, family members, or whatever. And one of them in particular was really worried about seeing her doctor. She had some medical issues, and she was really worried every time she had to see a doctor. She was really scared of that. So did some exercises around that to try and help that confidence, help self-esteem, and stop the overwhelming worry that it might never happen. Those thoughts are just thoughts. So yeah, so it was really, really interesting. There was so many things going on for that hour that I I could write a book about, really.
What you're describing there is that, people want the tools, they want them, they need them, and even though we're right there showing them, they sometimes forget or can't join the dots. So we want to just remind you that this is a practice that has physical benefits, emotional benefits, mental benefits. And when we think about, would you like something that helps to decrease pain? Yes. Would you like something that is relaxing? Yes. Would you like something that boosts your immunity? I think this is great. Would you like something that prevents heart disease? Prevents it. Would you like something, we know that like you were talking about killer cells, we know that there is a direct link. They actually did a study, I have it here, it's so interesting. A study in Norway showed that people with an improved sense of humor lived longer and could battle cancer better than those who didn't. So the science is there. So we are just suggesting, how do you do it? How do you connect to these things? And the results are instant, because the mood changes when it's very, if you just put a smile on your face, this is our starting point, and the smile immediately feels, we know when we smile, we feel lighter, we feel there's an element of kindness even, because you can't glare at somebody. So another point is forgiveness. This is a huge problem in people's lives. I'm going to run through 4 more. Guilt, resentment, shame, judgment. These are things that exist in our lives, and they circle around and they actually eat at us. And we have so many laughter exercises that actually help us to let go of those. We can do our forgiveness laughter. There's in India, they want to say sorry, they grab their earlobes and they laugh and they go or we can go, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But there's a degree, isn't there, of self-forgiveness that it's so good for us when you laugh by yourself and you can just say, I know I've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. And it's not making light of the mistake or having an irreverence for them. It's actually helping us to cope.
Yes, yeah. And that's the coping mechanism is a biggie, isn't it? Because we have all these, what I call situations, free-floating hostilities. I always want to say radicals.
That's because of free radicals.
Pop band, right? Free-floating hostilities around us, and we can't do anything about those. But how we can cope with them, it's it's just bouncing yourself back up. Really, it's like the resilience is bouncing yourself back up. And I always think to myself, that's a really good laughter exercise. When something goes wrong, the other day I was trying to be clever, really, really clever. I was holding 2 eggs and thinking that I'll just do this whilst I'm holding 2 eggs, right? It's like a recipe for disaster. It really is. 2 raw eggs in your hand, doing something else with the other hand. What's going to happen?
Gravity will happen.
And I have to crack those eggs in the frying pan. What's going to happen, Tove? One goes in the frying pan and one just splats onto the work surface and drips. imagine it. It's a very messy cleaning up job, right?
I love.
And what's my thought behind it? That's a really good laughter exercise. Just go ho ho ha ha.
And that's such a good point, is that we normally shoot a second arrow. The first arrow is whatever has happened that's gone wrong, like you were saying, with a free-floating hostility. The second arrow that we shoot is the judgment, the self-criticism about the thing. You could have got tense about the eggs and thought, I shouldn't have done it, and but having that ability to just laugh it off helps you, A, to handle the situation instead of rising the anxiety up even higher, and B, it gives you a resilience in bigger matters. Because if you can laugh at the small things, you can laugh at the bigger things, knowing we don't have to take it all so seriously. And we should invite ourselves to be a bit more playful. And that is such a beautiful thing. That example that you brought us, playfulness, leads me to think about the fact that adults don't have a lot of play between them. So the thing that laughter does for us is it helps us to connect with each other. That's one of the best medicines ever, because after the pandemic, we recognized how much we need connection, how much we need relationships. You could have everything that you ever wanted and desired in your life. And if you didn't have somebody to share it with, you would enjoy it for a bit, but soon there would be a degree of emptiness. And the relationship that is most important is your own one. So if you can be with yourself, accept yourself, laugh at yourself, with yourself, then you can connect to others, and just the quality of your life just starts to improve. And everything starts to feel better. That's what we're doing when we do our, shopping, when we do our addictions. It's all about trying to lessen our pain and increase our pleasure. But it exists in the laughter. Laughter decreases our pain and increases our pleasure. It feels fantastic.
So, yeah, I was going to go back a couple of stages before that. Was loneliness.
Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness, do you know loneliness is an actual killer?
Yeah,
It
it
is
is.
actually, it does actually kill you if you are lonely, because we are meant to be with other people. As humans, we are meant to be with other people. Animals are meant to be with other animals.
Yeah.
So we are exactly the same. We're meant to be with other people. And so there's some loneliness statistics. I'm not good at remembering like you. I I haven't got it in front of me. But I do know that there's been a study on loneliness, and they have found that people who are lonelier live less length of lives.
Yeah.
And I think it lowers it by at least 10%, lowers your lifespan by at least 10% being lonely. So this is why laughing together is so important. Being with other people, laughing together. And I can't say anything about a famous comedian because I got struck off for doing that, doing certain social media posts. They took them down. So I'm not going to say about, but any comedian, if you are relying on any comedian to make you happy, it can be very far and few between those instances. So you might go today, you might go in 6 months' time. What are you going to do for the rest of the time? How are you going to feel happy? How are you going to get that joy inside you? Because 6 months is a long time without any laughter.
Yeah, and
we have the opportunity to tap into that laughter by simulated laughter exercises without the need to be happy, to have all these health benefits, have all the mind benefits, and to fill your soul with joy so that you can have that resilience.
Yeah.
So, wow. Can we say about Norman Cousins?
Yeah, I mean, this is an example of somebody who was in so much pain that he could hardly even live his life. And he started to watch comedy shows to just cheer himself up and use laughter to create the endorphins that actually gave him at least some rest. So he was able to get 2 hours of rest, which enabled him to handle the extreme pain. Now, I know insomnia and anxiety are two massive problems in the world right now, and they are not addressed by laughter yoga, but they are mitigated by laughter yoga. I mean, when we did our leader training, we were exhausted, absolutely exhausted from 2 days of laughter. And you actually notice that you do manage to sleep better. You've actually laughed your worries away, type of thing. And the physical thing is, because of the relaxation and the exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide, you get the endorphins, which help relieve against pain, and also which feel good. You have that better serotonin, and then you can rest. So I mean, we have people who come to us for training who are on the spectrum, who have anxiety, ADHD, who have depression, all sorts of modern ailments, really. And this, again, allows them to open the toolbox, reach for the laughter that isn't about a joke, because that's culturally reliant, isn't it? If it doesn't match your culture, you're not going to find it funny. And as you say, are you supposed to have gaps in between when you can laugh every day? And I'm a fan of the afternoon laugh, because I think it really picks up our energy. Everyone's dipping in for caffeine or sugar, which spike the blood sugar and then dip it. We were talking about diabetes earlier and saying about how this regulates your sugar. This is another massive benefit in terms of our health.
Yeah, because we do really slump, don't we? About 2 or 3 o'clock, we're like, oh gosh, reach for the sugar. And I'm absolutely the culprit on this, absolutely. But if I've done morning laughter, I don't have that. I don't have that slump. And now I know why. It's because it's still regulating under that time. Um, there was a company that I had a discussion with, a meeting with the other day, yesterday, and they said, "Oh yeah, we want early morning laughter at this conference to wake everybody up." And I said, "Yeah, that's a great idea, but have you thought about the graveyard shift? Have you thought about just after lunch when people are they're still digesting the food, and they don't, they would rather sleep, they'd rather have a siesta than be concentrating at a conference, wouldn't they? So it put a thought into their minds that, yeah, perhaps that might be a good idea, because people will be, you do want some energy first thing in the morning. It is important to do something that wakes you up, isn't it? But
I,
having that slump is, yeah,
I think
helps.
what's about laughing in the morning, and again, this is unconditional laughter, so it's the choice of laughter as an exercise that anybody can do. So you're not relying on anything to stimulate the laughter. But what I find is, if you are in a better mood, difficult situations don't seem so catastrophic. Left unchecked, the mind will catastrophize about things and make things worse. So we have a lot of thought biases that come up for us, and yet if you've had some laughter, when the thought bias kind of rolls round to, make things worse for you, you actually, in a way, can check the mind and notice it. So laughter is the ultimate mindfulness practice. It's a present moment thing that allows you to just say, here I am, and I am here laughing, and I feel afterwards a combination of energized and relaxed, and I feel like I can handle things. That's what our overwhelm is all about. I can't handle it anymore. You know, we're overwhelmed because there's just too much stimulus, too many problems, and we can't manage it. With laughter, everything else disappears and only the laughter is there. So
unzip the laughter. Mm-mm-mm. I wonder whether those watching would like to try it with us.
yeah,
Should we do it a couple more times and then maybe they'll like to try it?
yeah.
Let's try it all together.
Oh, it's lovely. And let's face it, when we laugh with people, we feel like we feel a bit connected to them. We don't feel so awkward, uncomfortable, vulnerable. We feel like we actually have a moment that we've shared with each other, a way that we can connect with each other, a way that we can trust each other. The know, like, and trust is so important for us, for our psychology. It's running at an unconscious level, yet our bodies and somewhere in our consciousness are responding in a way. And actually, that fight or flight or freeze of the autonomic system, when we get trapped into the nervous system, we sometimes think that's the only way our life is to be expressed or felt. Yet we can go into the parasympathetic system and relax afterwards. And this is so important. It's so lovely to see everybody on this live tonight. I really just want to say thank you so much. And Sarah, this has been an absolutely remarkable series. I think there's so much value for people to go back onto your Serious Laughter channel and to see what we've discussed with all of these elements, whether you are thinking of laughter for children, laughter from the teacher's perspective, laughter for seniors. I can see Froggy's here from Germany, and she does special exercises for seniors who benefit so from the laughter. You know, seniors have this idea that if they don't understand it, then it's not funny. They want it to logically make sense. But when we introduce laughter yoga, they don't need to let it make sense. They can relax about things. And as they relax, they start to feel so much better in their lives. And in these latter years, it's so precious. For corporates, we are seeing every time we go to corporates, we see resistance, we see neurosis, we see anxiety, we see conflict, we see miscommunication, we see a lot of tension. And laughter yoga helps, so we really appreciate it. And then on the personal level, you know, I've overcome, or what should I say, I live with depression. I'm not there, I'm not a clown laughing because it's hilarious. I'm choosing it because I feel the emotion. And I know what it's like when you feel like you actually can't do another moment. I know that face. I know that place, but I know that laughter helps me just go, I can pull myself back up again, and I don't need somebody to cheer me up or make me feel better. So I just want to say, Sarah, thank you for the series. I've absolutely adored sharing laughter yoga with you.
It's, as you say, it's been an absolute pleasure working together. We are continuing to work together, so it's not going to end.
Collaborate.
But this series, we wanted to educate others on this platform, and this is a playback on YouTube. So if your friends aren't on here, all the playbacks are on YouTube as well, on Serious Laughter, and Facebook. And we just wanted to educate you as to the wide variety of benefits, the wide variety of genres that laughter can go into, and everybody of every age who can understand the instructions can do this. So it's I've got passion in my belly. We both have, haven't we? About spreading all the benefits. And I didn't, when I trained as a leader at Tove, I did not know these benefits. I just knew that it made me feel happier and less stressed. That's all I knew about it. I didn't know about all the, resilience and connection, and it's a beautiful community. We're part of thousands and thousands of people that we can connect with or stay with or whatever. And it's and all the health benefits, and my brain works so much better. And having recently realized that I have ADHD, I now understand that those thoughts are like always nattering on at your brain late at night or during the night. Those are not there now because of the years of practice, 7 years of practice of this. They aren't there. The overwhelm can still be there quite easily. The stress levels can, and the depression does creep in sometimes. We're all human. We all get low at some point, and it's very easy to go, I'm just going to live with it. I'm just going to live with that feeling until it goes, but it may not go. You may have to use a wellbeing tool, and to know that you don't have to be happy to laugh. I always say, when it's hard to laugh, it's time to laugh hard.
Yes.
Knowing that you'll feel better after it.
Yeah. Just seeing Froggy there saying thank you for the beneficial work. Froggy was in a terrible car accident, and that in itself is trauma, isn't it? It's very difficult when something shocking like that happens, and the laughter definitely helps us to heal. I'm a fan of the emotional, psychological, and physical benefits of it. Like you said, I didn't know that all of the science backed it up. I didn't know that there were so many applications. What I do know now is I could never live my life without this unconditional laughter, because it helps me to generate and connect to joy. Happiness, it's fleeting. You have to chase it. You have to get more. You need more. It escalates your desires. Whereas joy is so clean and so simple and so available. And it also reminds me, I don't have to be joyous 24 hours a day. When you're chasing happiness, you've got this problem that you can't deal with the pain. You can't handle the difficulty. But when you tap into this resolve and this resilience, it allows you to rest in the difficult times, knowing this too shall pass. And so we're not always laughing, but we can always laugh. That's the difference. Whenever we want to, we can tap into it, especially when we don't want to. So it's a very, very interesting practice. And it's just got so many wide-reaching benefits. And you can see that Sarah and I absolutely love it. We had so many beautiful interactions with these leaders on the weekend where we got to, people have such a mask, don't they? Where they put out this impression of what they want the world to see and think about them. And when people strip that back and just can be authentic, it's very powerful. And so that's why we want to share it. That's why we're so passionate about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, after people have laughed with you, I don't know whether you find this as well, Tove, but they open up. They do open up, and they think that you've been a lifelong friend sometimes when you've only known them for an hour, half an hour, and they say, I had this real big problem, and this has happened, and you empathize with them totally, but it seems to break down the barrier of us and them, and they treat you like a friend. They trust you, even after half an hour of knowing you. They go, yeah, that's I feel great now, but do you know what? I've gone through a really tough time. And do you know what? The leaders, the 10 leaders that we trained, each one of them had got a story. Each one of them had, had something in their life that had happened, and they did share it with us. They did. And
it's an honor to.
And one person in particular said she never gets a break. She's always under stress. Somebody's always talking and asking her a question at work, and then she goes home and exactly the same thing happens. It's the first time she switched off in years.
So relaxed, yeah.
Brain holiday. So we need a brain holiday, right? So yeah, so you know, another benefit is to give your brain a break, to stop those thoughts. You can't think about anything else when you laugh. So stop those thoughts, reset, relax, and thrive. That's what we're about. We're about thriving in this life, not struggling.
Yeah.
So there we are. Superpower of laughter. And I do call it a superpower, because what else can you call it? So 10 to 15 minutes is your medicine for those that are watching. 10 to 15 minutes of hearty laughter, all right, is your medicine. So watch all the exercises that we both share on both of our channels, Tove Kane and Serious Laughter, and do the exercises. And if you do need help with that, if you would like to have 2-day training or coaching, Tove runs coaching courses, and there's also 31 days of laughter exercises, so you can have a laughter exercise delivered to yourself for 31 days, courtesy of a video course that I run. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities that you can put laughter into your life. It's not hard, but getting past the comfort zone can be a little bit awkward, and that's where you thrive.
Yeah.
Here's the superpower. High five. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching. Thank you, Tove, for joining forces. It's an absolute delight to be on here always. So yeah, you can watch this anytime. The viewers can rewatch this and have another insight. Share it on your stories, please do, so that other people can see it and know that they are not alone. They can be supported by a special wellbeing tool, laughter yoga. I was just going to do that. One of the Bollywood dancers.
Thank you so much. Lots of love from me.
Take care. Lots of love, everyone. Bye for now.